Hola YouTube and welcome back to my channel. I am your girl Beauty by Lenore across all my social media platforms. If you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel, of course thumbs up my video and get a conversation started with me in the comment section below. But enough of that. You guys already know. We're about to go ahead and review this Beauty Bay NIKKIETUTORIALS collaboration for the actual eye palette that she came out with them. Finally got it in the mail after waiting about 6.5 weeks. And of course I have a doll light highlighter from them in the shade Shine Bright. So we're gonna go ahead and review all of this. Plus I did go ahead and get the free little pop socket thing for the phone that Nikki went ahead and sent out with the actual packages. If you guys are ready to see how this actually worked, was I able to use it different ways just to be able to get this look and everything, you already know. Let's keep watching.
You might be the one taking me home. One thing really do one.
Okay, so I finally got in my package from Beauty Bay. I ordered this from Beauty Bay, obviously, the NIKKIETUTORIALS package the day it launched. It came, sat in customs for like 2 weeks, and then from customs it went to FedEx, and FedEx transferred it over to the United States Postal Service, and they lost my package. After about 3 weeks and reaching out to Beauty Bay, it mysteriously showed up on my porch a week later. So I've had this for about a week now. And it was $30 for the NIKKIETUTORIALS X Beauty Bay palette and $16.95 for the Doll Light Highlight Shine Bright highlighter. And of course they give you this little booklet with all this little information for different products and stuff they have with Beauty Bay. Nothing that I'm truly interested in. And I did get the free pop thing that you're able to put on the back of your phone from Beauty Bay and NIKKIETUTORIALS. But this is truly the star of the show, the actual palette. So let's go ahead and open it up. It is bubble wrapped on the inside. It does give you this little message from NIKKIETUTORIALS on the back. It's a glitter box, if you guys can see that. Let's just get into what we really came to see. Now, I absolutely hate for Nikki to be as big as she is in the beauty community and for her to know how we feel about palettes and things. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the palette, which you've already seen. Of course, I'm gonna do a close-up of it to show it to you guys a little bit closer in lower light. But she does have the one mirror over here that is like a regular mirror, and this is like a maximize up close mirror. So I guess that works and helps, especially if you're traveling. And that's the actual inside of the palette. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna turn on the lights and show it to you a little bit better. I'm not really sure why Nikki had another note in here for us with the actual shade names, and as far as, you know, the colors of the actual shades and how you would actually use them, the application of how to use them. If you could use them with a brush or a finger, what's the best way to actually use them. I think that's really great for people who really don't know and understand makeup. Is really great. But since it's a custom palette with Beauty Bay, the same little brush and finger that she put right here, she could have just put right here underneath the eyeshadows too. So to me, it's just a missed opportunity. Let me show you the palette. So this is a beautiful palette and I like it. Let's go ahead and swatch some of the mattes. We're gonna go ahead and swatch Redemption, Mackay, Aurora, Pride, and Amsterdam, which is that blue, just to see how they actually look. They are kind of chalky and kind of thin. And how do they swatch out? They swatch like pressed pigments. That red, of course, is stunningly beautiful. That shimmer, see, that really blends into darker skin tones, so that's really pretty. The Aurora shade, that's a multi-chrome, dual chrome, that's really pretty. And then the blue, just swatching it across. I think it's funny how it shows up like this in the palette and when you pick it up, but on my skin tone it shows up as a deep navy blue, and in the palette it's a deep navy blue. So I'm trying to figure out, maybe it shears out and shows out different ways depending on how you apply and blend it. But those are just some of the actual swatches. Not upset or mad about it. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of pressed pigments. Even trying to wipe it, you can see that blue and red did stain. So that's something you guys want to be careful with. As far as how you're basing your eyes and how you're using your different eyeshadows and things, I'm going to go ahead and go in and base mine with the Kat Von D High Voltage Eye Primer. I don't know why they won't bring this primer back to her actual line. It is the P. Louise long before P. Louise even came out, and it is a cult favorite. That one little dot. Putting it on and keeping it pretty low, because the lighter shade that I want and need will go on higher. And I'm just making sure that I go ahead and rub some of that primer underneath to help prime the under eyes with it as well. And just blending it out with my finger, still trying to keep it pretty low as I blend, so I don't blend it too high into my actual brow. But just making sure that it's an even blend, so when I go in with my shadows, I have an even blend in base with my actual shadows. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going into Amsterdam first. Yeah, I'm gonna use a pretty dense, smaller brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and go into Amsterdam. And it's more like a purpley blue as I turn and shift it. Just gonna go in here and put this on the outside. I'm not really getting any fallout, and it's building up beautifully. And right now I'm just stamping this down and in place to really build up that color. And in real life, it's coming across as a purple. It's coming across with a purple with the huge blue base. It's coming across as a purple blue in real life. It's not coming, on camera it looks blue, but in real life it's coming across as a purple or blue with a really strong purple base. And next I'm gonna go into E.W, however she pronounced that. I don't want to pronounce it wrong. And I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp this right in next to it. And this is a really pretty green. I'm not quite sure of the look I'm going with just yet. But this is definitely the path that I've taken with this look. And there is a little kickback in the actual pan. And that's just mainly because it's a pressed pigment. I will tell you that I am liking how these apply and blend a whole lot better than I like the Pure Christy, Raw Beauty Christy palette. And I'm just going back in with no additional product on my brush. And I'm just doing the blend in between the two colors, so I'm not having a harsh line. So it fades better into the actual eyes. And go back in with green to blend it back out. And I like that as I was blending in between the two colors, I didn't get a funny, unique line of demarcation or a funny shift in color change. Now I want to go in here with, do I want to take Mama Tutorials, Pride, or Aurora with this look? This one right here will probably be really pretty as an inner highlight. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take Pride. So, going into Pride Dry first. It's a flaky color. When I say it's a flaky color, it's a flaky color. See that? How it flakes? So I'm going to go in dry first and see how this works and applies. And it's getting everywhere. God darn it. I probably should have sprayed this. But I did want to go in and just see how it looks dry first. So I'm going to wet it down with my Ultra Beauty Mattes Wet the brush down. And go back across it and see if wetting the brush helps the blend, because it's such a flaky shade. Oh, it got into the green a little bit. So the best way is to pick up the product as flaky it is on the brush and then spray it while it's on the brush. Pull your eye so you don't get that wrinkly eye effect with your eyelids if you have texture, and go in that way. See how much better that applied? And it also prevented me from having fallout. Going back in with the green, so I don't lose the glittery green in that actual blend. And going through my crease, I see a color that I really want to use just to pull through in my crease. I want to go ahead and use Blend and Snap in my crease. It's a really pretty pale pink. Let's see if this works. Going in with my Kat Von D shade in light to go in here and blend out the colors underneath my eyebrow, so I'm not losing it going too high, and just to highlight a little bit underneath my eyebrow. Sometimes I use my Kat Von D shade in light palette as an eraser if a shade gets too high, just to blend it back down. So this is what the eyes are looking like for right now. And they're pretty, but we're also gonna do something else soon. So let's go ahead and do the eyebrows. Let's go ahead and do my liner. I'm using the NYX Matte Liner. I hate that I went on this eye chunky first, dry, because it's so chunky. It's giving me so much texture on this eye. If you don't have smooth eyelids, then you definitely want to make sure that you wet the brushes before you go in with the shimmer, so that way it doesn't enhance the texture on your eye. So this is what the eyes are looking like for right now. So let's pull you out just a little bit, and let's go in here and actually do the actual face. I'm gonna use my YSL Le Tint NIKKIETUTORIALS, which is their Fusion Ink foundation. This is one of the best foundations that ever came across the market, hands down, period. One of the best foundations. And I don't know why they discontinued this foundation. Holy grail, best. And I did get fallout, so I'm just gonna use this to go ahead and clean it up. It's a pressed pigment palette, so I already knew I was gonna go ahead and do my eyes first. I mean, I always do my eyes first anyway. And right now I'm just using my Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. And for my moisturizer, prior to starting my video, I did use my Good Molecule Silicone-Free Priming Moisturizer, so I did go ahead and use this. So the Fusion Ink is a very high pigment foundation and is very liquid-like. It is the Cover X FX Custom Drops, long before that foundation even came out, or the NYX Total Cover Drops. All of those products come on the heels of this product. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the E.L.F Cosmetics powder brush. Now you guys know that the E.L.F Cosmetic powder brushes are excellent foundation brushes. Oh, they will go in. I always wet my brush before I use them. You guys know that. But you can go in and blend everything out flawlessly. And I love this foundation because it's such a no mess type of foundation, to where as you get in here and you start blending everything out, it just goes on the skin beautifully. It doesn't accentuate pores or anything like that. It's just a beautiful foundation. Now, normally I would just go ahead and color correct my spots, But because I know how well this foundation works, I didn't need to go in here and color correct my dark spots or anything like that. Any parts of my face that I still need a little help with coverage as far as it's concerned, like you can still see some of my hyperpigmentation coming through right there and a little bit on that side. I'll just go in here and just add another layer. Since this product builds so beautifully up on the skin, you won't have those problems or issues. And thank God I'm in the healing process of my breakout. Now we'll just go in and cover that up. And all I'm doing is just patting. And when I say this foundation is so pretty, this foundation is so pretty on your skin. It's a satin finish, which means it'll still give your skin a little bit of glow. But it's not flat matte, it's not dewy, anything like that. It's just a really pretty flat foundation for your actual face. And while I'm at it, might as well go ahead and go in here and just cream contour just a little bit. I'm using the pretty Vulgar Undercover Concealer. I don't know what shade this is. Just to go in here and add a little bit of dimension to the face. See how it's pretty natural with the actual coverage? I love it. I wish I could get a shade that was just a little bit darker. But this came for me in my BoxyCharm box. And under the lip, just makes your bottom lip poke out even more when you do it that way. And it has enough playtime to where you don't have to worry about your it drying too quickly and giving you those harsh lines. And it sits beautifully on top of the YSL. Now I'm gonna do something slightly different, something that I don't typically do all of the time. I'm gonna go in here with my Makeup Geek contour shades and Scandal and mix that with a little bit of Deal Breaker, just a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and tap this across on top of the parts of the face where I went in with that. And once most of it's already gone, I'll go in and start to mash it in. So when I go across it with the translucent powder, my contour will last longer throughout the day. And for concealer, I'm just gonna do something really quickly. I'm gonna use my Maybeline Age Rewind Dark Eraser for your circles and golden. And what I'll do is I'll just go back in here with my foundation brush and blend around it with whatever foundation I have left. And go back in here and make sure everything is blended out. Clean up just a little bit down here. And as far as setting under my eyes, I'm gonna use the Crayon Case Chalk Dust in. And then for the rest of my face, same brush that I use for my contour and everything, I'll take and wipe it off. And I'm gonna go into the PATICK'S powder from MAC, Sleigh Ride, and set the rest of my face. And now I'll go ahead and go back into the NIKKIETUTORIALS palette. And on the bottom lash line, I'm gonna lay down, it's not too many colors I could play with in this palette. Something is calling my name about this red. It may not be the best idea. We finna find out together. Laying down that red. Taking the brush I laid down the red with, getting most of the red off. You can do this with a color switch. If you don't have a color switch, you can just use a regular napkin for it. And going back in with the brush I laid down the purple with, I'm going into Slasher, this darker. I laid down Amsterdam with the blue. I'm going into Slasher, this eggplant purple. Just right here on the outside. And to blend it down better, I'm going into Redemption, that yellow. which is a yellowy orange. And I'm just blending underneath. So it'll tone it down a little bit, but I also avoid harsh lines with it. And it'll give it just a little bit of a glow. Just a little bit. Now for the waterline, I'm gonna put this dark blue. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 Guide on Eye Pencil in Goddess. Looks like this. I'm gonna put that in the waterline. And I'm gonna go ahead and set my face down with something that has really become one of my favorites, the Milk Makeup Hydra Grip Spray. And again, I told you guys, if you guys don't have the handheld fan, you could just use a regular piece of cardboard. I have a fan, I just be too lazy to get up and get it half the time. But I'm trying to figure out what color do I want to use for the inner eye part. For lashes, I'm going into the House of Lashes Heartbreaker lashes. Look like this. I want a more simple lash so the actual eyes could actually stand out better. I know. I normally like 30-foot lashes, and here I am doing a very simple lash. But, you know, gotta change it up a little bit. See how simple and spacey they are? More of a natural lash. I don't know if this look can support a natural lash. I may need a heavier lash. Hold on, I'm not using that. I'm gonna use the Baddie B lashes in Baddie. For this look, this fares better. And I can't believe I bought these lashes like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And as you can see that little tab right there that I'm cutting off right here? I've never used them. This is ridiculous. And of course, you guys always know my lash glue is always the same. It's the House of Lashes lash glue, either in a white or dark. The white one dries clear, the dark one dries dark. So it just, whatever your fancy is. For me, either one works, no matter my eye look. And the only reason why I changed up what lash I was gonna use for this actual look is because my lash has to be able to hold and carry the actual eye look. So let's go ahead and fix these eyebrows real quick. I'm just doing finishing touches while my lash glue dries. You guys know I like to go in and add strokes through my actual brows, and I'm using the LA Splash artkitekt Slim Eyeliner, and this is in the shade Black, I do believe. But I like to just go in here and just add slashes through my brows and make sure my tail is dark and filled in. You guys have seen me do this quite a few times. And I'll go on with my E.L.F. This is the double-sided eyebrow and mascara two-sided gel. I like the way it sets them, and it actually fluffs them up a little bit, so I like that as well. Now right here, where I done got eyebrow stuff everywhere, while it's still wet and drying, I could just go in and just clean that up. And I'm just doing that with a clean brush with no product on it, no product on the brush. So you don't always have to use product to clean up your eyebrows. Now, let's go back in and add just a little bit of color. And plus, I'm addicted to the way this thing smells. So that's also the reason why I like to go back in and use the Butter bronzer. And this is in the shade Endless Summer. And as far as my blush is concerned, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Juvia's Place. This is a Saharan Blush Volume 1. And I'm going in to this hot pink shade called Zane. And popping it on right back here. And you guys know I'm a blush freak. I love my blush. But I will go back in and wipe any excess product off the brush. And go back in with just a little bit of translucent powder. Not too much. And just go across it just to blend it in a little bit better. Just to tone it down just a little bit. And as far as the highlight is concerned, I really wanted to try to use, you guys know how I try to go in and use everything from the palette in a way on my face just to kind of see how it will work. This shade right here, it is so pretty. Okay, so this is a crown brush. It came in a set long time ago. I'm gonna try to see if I can use this all-in shade, which is an eyeshadow, as a highlighter. But because I know how these shades are, I'm trying to pick it up with a dense brush without it getting too many chunks on the brush. And it's just pure glitter going on my face right now. That is just pure glitter. So if you don't like the whole glitter moment, this may not be for you, boo. But I know a lot of people don't like having glitter. See what I'm saying? See how when I tell you it's glitter? But it's so pretty. Especially for photos. And the tone of it matches really well up against my caramel complexion without making it look like I have bruised cheeks or anything. So to go in and tone that down per use, I'll do the same thing. I'll just go across it and mash it in a little bit. Hopefully this was a good choice with these lashes because I've never worn them before. And I'm taking and I'm putting the bulk of the lash on the outside just for the look and the aesthetics I'm trying to go for with this particular look. For mascara, I'm gonna go ahead and do the Too Faced, and this is the Too Faced Better Than Sex, and this is the one that comes in purple. It was part of one of their gift sets that they had did. And this was just gonna tie in the purple that I used underneath just a little bit. And plus, if you have dark eyes, purple is amazing at making your dark eyes stand out. So if you have dark brown eyes, hazel eyes, purple is an amazing color that will make your makeup pop. So it's a way you can use a little bit of color. And for the most part, people can't tell it unless you're taking pictures or if you're in the sun and the sun hits it. But the purple mascara just ties the look together and make everything pop. And you guys know, I just go in and blend my fake and false lashes together just by pinching them together in my hand. And I'm gonna pull you guys back in closer like I always do so you guys can see the final finished completed look at per use. But now we wanna go ahead and do something with the lips. So do I want to do a neutral lip with this and let the eyes be the star of the show? Or do I want to go in and do a purple lip? Didn't I do a purple lip last week? I guess we'll just go ahead and do a neutral lip. I'm trying to figure out, do I want to use the Maybelline Color Jolt and strip down? Or do I want to use the Twinkling Lights, Kathleen Lights ColourPop in the shade Little Star? Let's watch both of them and see what they look like. That's Little Star, which is a dark nude. And this is, if I can get it open, this is the Maybelline. I think I'm gonna use both. I'm gonna use the Kathleen Lights as a lip liner. You guys know, if you watch my channel, you guys know I do not use actual lip liners. I just don't see the point. When you can do all of that blending and applying and making it look just as beautiful it is when you first do it, you could do all of that with a liquid lipstick and have it last even longer. I want to do a really light nude though. I'm going to go into Dose of Color Sand. I'd be lying. Sorry guys. But I'm gonna go into Dose of Color Sands because I want a really light nude with that. And you're like, ooh, that's a stark contrast, but it'll work. And as much as I said I wanted to do a nude lip, it turned into a pink lip. So because it turned into a pink lip, trying to pull the whole look together like as a pink look or something, even though it matches beautifully with the color I actually put up in my crease, I don't want that. I want it to be a little bit more nude. So I'm gonna go into the LA Girl, this is their glazed lip paints. I was gonna do a gloss anyway. This is in the shade Whisper. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apply just a little bit of this right here, so I can lighten it up a little bit. Going back in with the Kathleen Light and this little lip pencil. This lip is just giving me issues and problems. I am gonna completely do an ombre lip. But this is okay. This is not the lip I was going for. For all of this, I could have just went ahead and put on a pink lipstick. See, this is the reason why it's so much easier for me to just do my bold, bright lips than to do this. Because you sit there and you create this really pretty ombre, but I could have did this 500 different ways, 500 different times with a completely different color. And now, because I done went in and did so much around my lips with everything, now I gotta go in here and fix it just a little bit. So I'll take just a little bit of the foundation, just a little, and a little bit of the concealer to go in here and clean up around my lips. Ain't nobody got time for this. And then go back with your foundation brush to blend that back around. Yeah, that took too much work. That lip took way too much work. Okay, so for the final thing, let's go ahead and get into this inner eye, honey. This inner eye is what we want to see, what we're gonna do with this inner eye. It's so pretty, I almost kind of just want to leave it alone, but you know I'm not gonna do that. You know, I like to do the most. I'm gonna take Mama Tutorials. It's another chunky shade. God darn it. Or do I want to take Underground? I'm gonna take Mama Tutorials. I'm probably messing up again. You know that whole you just can't leave well enough alone? Like, most people just stop right here. Right here is perfect. We didn't already had a problem with the eye being like crunchy because I didn't apply the eyeshadow wrong. The lip just went. This is not the type of look I was going for with this. But I'm just like, you know what? Oh, see, that worked. That worked. That worked. Okay. That worked. Let's take this blue off. And let's go ahead and put Underground because it was so pretty. Underground on the brush. And I'm just gonna put it like right here. And now I gotta come back through with the eyebrow so I can go ahead and get all this glitter. You see all that glitter in my eyebrow? Yeah, that's not cute on anybody for anything. So let's go ahead and get all that out. So this is what the eye look is looking like for right now. I know I hardly ever do eye looks in my actual brown eyes, but this time I just wanted to really play off the darkness with my eyes with this particular look. So what do you guys think? This is what it's looking like so far. We're gonna go ahead and set the face with the Tarte Stay Spray, their setting spray. Okay, so guys, I totally forgot while I'm busy playing with the palette, with the NIKKIETUTORIALS palette, with Beauty Bay and her collaboration, I totally forgot I had the Doll Light Shine Bright highlighter in the shade, I guess, okay, this is the Doll Light highlighter in the shade Shine Bright, which looks like this, which is a really pretty gold. That's a really pretty gold. And I was like, I totally forgot that I probably do want to go ahead and at least use the highlighter just to kind of see how it plays. Even though I'm pretty happy with all the glitter and stuff I have on my face, but let's go ahead and tap over it just to see. And that highlighter is one of those highlighters that will definitely amp up a look. It just made it even brighter, like super bright. But it allows me to blend out pretty well. but then it's slightly a little too bright for me. So this would be a highlighter that I would have to use like with something else with it, because as you could tell, it kind of made me like a little ashy in this area a little bit. So when that happens, I just go in with my brush with no additional product, and I just kind of blend over that just to tone it down a little bit. So it's a really pretty gold, but with my skin tone, it can come off just a little bit too silver for me. On my nose is not a problem, but on my actual face, I just have to tone that down just a little bit. And to do that, I'll just go back over it with my brush that has absolutely no additional product, and we get this. So let me pull you guys in closer. So this is the final finished look with everything. And I probably should have color corrected those spots, because you guys know I'm getting over my outbreak and everything, so it's getting better. I still have a few here, but those are just healing or whatever. But the dark spots are still there, so next time I actually go in and use it, I will go ahead and color correct with it. Typically, it's not something I'm having to do with my YSL Fusion ink, but then again, I've never had a breakout this bad. But this is the actual final look. What do you guys think? Okay guys, so you've had a chance to see the video. You already know this highlighter is really, really pretty. It's a really stunning, bright highlighter. Not bright as in the color of the highlighter. Bright as in it's a blinding shine type of highlighter. For me, I would probably go ahead and use this highlighter and apply it with a sponge and blend it down with the damp sponge so it would melt into my skin a little bit better. So for this highlighter, I like it. Would I repurchase it in another color if it was slightly darker? Yes, I would. I don't use these, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. But the star of the actual show, the NIKKIETUTORIALS palette. I love this palette. I love the look that I was able to get. I love how the shades and colors blended together. And I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I used 10 of the shades in this actual palette, and she gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. She gives you 20. So I used a great deal of the actual palette with the actual look and just being able to get it and just pull it all together. I really like this look. I had reservations about the palette because I know it has pressed pigments, but these applied beautifully. They laid on beautifully. Any fallout and anything I had was easy for me to go ahead and just wipe away because I do eyes before foundation. So for me, it was pretty easy. I will tell you, if you're using the palette, you definitely want to go ahead and do your eyes first. But if you're a foundation first type of person, then you definitely want to go ahead and lay down a layer of powder underneath your eyes before you go in with it. But I have absolutely no complaints. I know it did restock. That was the only thing I had a problem with. She did the whole video and she made this huge big point to be like, guys, it's limited edition. When it sells out, it sells out. It's gone. It's never coming back. Now, it is 2020. Don't lie to us. Don't give us those Jaclyn Hill lies, okay? We are very well aware of the fact that if a product comes out with any of these makeup companies, whether it be a big brand or an indie house, and is that successful with that many people crying that they still want it, you're definitely going to restock the product. So when she said like 3-4 weeks ago that she was going to go ahead and do like another limited restock of the actual product, we was like, number one is doing the coronavirus. So a lot of materials are hard sourced right now. So unless you already had an order that was coming in for more additional products, it's no way possible that you did your launch and then the time it took before you released a limited edition release of more additional palettes that it was gonna be able to happen. I'm like, being here in America, listening to her explain the video and why she decided to release more palettes, I was sitting there like, it felt like I was watching Trump. Like, these lies are unnecessary. Just tell us because, hey guys, it sold so well. We were so surprised and so many of you guys wanted that weren't able to get it. We're gonna go ahead and release some more stock of the product. That's really all she had to say. That's really all she had to say. You didn't have to go through this big spiel to get to, hey, it's limited edition, yes. It's not gonna be a part of their permanent collection at Beauty Bay. But they definitely were gonna restock it. You knew from watching the original, let me let me not go down that path. At this point in 2020, we all know how makeup works. I absolutely adore this palette. The fact that it took me 6.5 weeks to actually get it delivered to me really doesn't have anything to do with Beauty Bay or anything like that. It was the fact that FedEx handed it off to USPS and then they lost my package, and it took them about 4 weeks to find and get me my package. So I would have, by the time this palette shipped, came through customs and came to Georgia, I probably would have got this palette within 2.5 weeks, which is pretty fast shipping for international shipping, coming here to the United States and having to wait at customs, because my palette sat and waited at customs for about a week. So that's pretty fast shipping. So I don't have any problems or issues with this particular roundabout outside of USPS losing my package for 4 weeks. But past that point, I think if you guys are able to get your hands on it and you like colors, and you like chunky glitters, chunky shimmers, let me not say glitters, it's a chunky shimmer formula. If you guys are really into that, then you would absolutely love this palette. I definitely will tell you to get it. The 2 mirrors are great for you guys to actually be able to go ahead and travel with. So for me, this is a thumbs up. Definitely go ahead and get it. If you're a guy or a girl watching this and you thinking, hey, my significant other may really like this for Christmas, go ahead and order it now. You'll probably get it right before Thanksgiving or a little bit after Thanksgiving, which is more than enough time for Christmas. So thank you guys so much for watching my video and rocking with me. Thank you so much for coming back out and checking out my channel. And as always, I don't care when you watch me, in the morning, afternoon, evening, late at night, I'm just happy that you chose to come spend some time with your girl. And as always, thank you, YouTube. Bye.